What's up, everybody? I was going to show you a quick review comparing a charcoal pencil and two different pens I love using here. One's a Jelly Roll pen and the other one's a Uniball white pen. And the three different ways I kind of use them for my own artwork. One I kind of sketched out in charcoal. They're just three different little like water droplets. You can create really cool gradients with all three. You have a little bit more control using the charcoal pencil if you're used to that medium, used to like using graphite pencils and stuff like that. It's kind of the same. It doesn't really smudge a whole lot, well, easily I should say. It takes a little effort to get it to really blend, but I like that amount of control, so I can sketch out here darker tone into a kind of a brighter tone, just using pressure. So you can create really cool highlights and gradients with the pens as well. You just kind of have to paint real fast and smear it. So that's what I did here. So I would go over with a pen and just with a thumb, kind of smear it up. With the Jelly Roll, at least for me, I'm counting in my head like 1, 2, 3. And by that time, if I don't smear it, it's going to dry on the page and I can't really control it like that. Same deal with the Uniball pen. The Jelly Roll seems to be a little more subtle, and you can layer it up, versus the Uniball. It's just very bright, and I use that to like correct mistakes, or just use for like highlights and eyeballs, like a little quick sample there. And the benefits, I would say I tend to use the charcoal out of all three the most, just because it's a little more subtle, and I used it for this glass picture here, along with the just regular graphite pencil. I just kind of use the charcoal pencil predominantly. If anything, I'd probably go over with the Jelly Roll secondly for a highlight in the eye, because it's a little brighter, but it's not too bright where it doesn't feel like it blends well with that particular drawing. Also, with the charcoal pencil, you can create like really cool metallic almost images. Don't know how well it's showing on here, but the tone on here looks almost metallic to me, and it's just like a little nail clipper thing. This isn't really like an artwork review because mine aren't super amazing like I see some artists on YouTube. Just trying to... Alright, so here is some weird bird thing I did the other day. And this, I just used the Jelly Roll pencil, or Jelly Roll pen. Use it to, make all kinds of really nice highlights and stuff. And it just seems like it's like your middle out of all three of these, like your mid-range brightness level, if that makes any sense there. I like using this tone paper too because it's really cool and easy to create gradients. Yes, this is another example using a mixture of the Jelly Roll pen as well as the Uniball pen. So the Jelly Roll is kind of the darker toned highlights on here, like some in the hair, some along the arms, but for a lot of the fabric I used the Uniball pen. It's just a little brighter, so I also blended the charcoal in with the well, this is like your Dragon Ball Z kind of character. The background here is kind of a mixture of the charcoal along with marker. I don't know, for whatever reason, at least for me, the charcoal seems to like blend a lot more subtly with the charcoal. The pens do. But yeah, so it's kind of a mixture of charcoal, your like Uniball, well, with the very bright highlights there, and then the gel pen a little bit around the hair and stuff. So you can use all three mediums really easily, and kind of a really cool thing too, because I also do screen printing, and when you do screen printing, you have to lay down a white base a lot of the times on darker fabrics for the color of the show. So it's kind of the same idea here with the art. So these are like two different versions of the little Star Wars villain, and using a white base coat first, I kind of determined where the highlights would go, and then using a color pen or pencil, you can, or even the highlighter, you go over your white and it just makes it pop. Yeah, I think it was predominantly the Uniball pen I used for this one. Yeah, so the highlights it just pop very bright, and you can like create really cool tones, especially around this little guy. Like the head is just. I also like adding like darker backgrounds to make it accentuate that as well. Mainly it's just the charcoal pencil, but a little bit of the Jelly Roll pen. What I've been trying to say here is you can use all three of these in conjunction with each other for different things. I like to use this bad boy because it's the brightest out of all three, and it just makes everything pop for like highlights, correcting errors, and using this as a base coat to go over with other paints or pens and markers. Oh jeez. Jelly Roll, kind of like your mid-tone out of all three. It's a lot more subtle. You can blend it a little bit easier than the Uniball. If you want to get it brighter, you really have to layer it up, but it only gets so bright. Doesn't really bleed a lot, which is awesome too. And lastly, the good old charcoal white pencil here. It's out of all three, of course, the darker of the three. I feel like you have more control with this. You can layer it up a lot and create all kinds of tones. And then you can see like the difference in the brightness here. Squid Guy versus this weird whatever this is. This is with the charcoal. Yeah, these are like the metallic kind of tones you can create using the charcoal. Mainly just blending it with the graphite, which is already kind of a gray. And when you mix it with the charcoal, it creates like a really cool metallic kind of tone to it. Jelly Roll for the hair, charcoal for the hat. And you know, they blend well with other tones too, and this is like I think this is just regular color pencils. For something like this, it's a lot of charcoal going on here. So I think if I really was to try to make something pop, I'd use the Uniball. So let's do that. So just something real subtle on the eye. You know, add like a little dab here or something. Just a whoop, bam. You know, not a lot, just to make something pop. And if I wanted to, I could smear it with my finger a little bit like that. So now, let's see. Yeah, so that's a blend of the chalk now with the Uniball little highlight thing on the eye there. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully that helps somebody make a decision if they're trying to purchase new art supplies. So your charcoal white, and they come in different tones, I believe, different softness. Your Uniball here. And finally, just a plain old white Jelly Roll. Let's see. Don't know how well you can see that. There you go. Alright, any comments, questions, be sure to hit me up. Try to answer them as soon as I can. Be sure to subscribe, like, follow, spread the word. Talk to you guys soon.